Have you ever felt like you're not alone, even when no one else is around? You know the feeling. You're home, doors locked, binge watching some show about competitive cheese rolling, and suddenly the hair on your arms stands up. It's that primal, unsettling sensation that someone or something is right there with you. Maybe it's just your brain playing tricks on you after too much caffeine, or maybe it's the ghost of a disgruntled cheese roller from the 1800s. Who's to say? I'm not saying it's definitely ghosts, but I'm also not saying it. This feeling, this sixth sense, is something people have reported for centuries. It's the kind of thing that makes you turn all the lights on just to go to the bathroom. Is it just paranoia? An overactive imagination? Or could it be something more? Today we're diving headfirst into that weird, chilly pool of uncertainty. We're not just dipping our toes in, we're doing a cannonball. Today, we're uncovering the top signs that spirits might be monitoring you. We'll look at the classic spooky stuff and maybe, just maybe, figure out if your house is just old and creaky, or if you've got a spectral voyeur. So, grab your security blanket, maybe a flashlight. Not that it'll do much against a ghost, but it feels proactive, you know? We're going on a journey through the unexplained. We'll explore everything from weird noises to your cat having a staring contest with a blank wall. By the end of this, you'll either be reassured that your house is totally normal, or you'll be armed with the knowledge that you're sharing your Wi-Fi with a resident phantom. Either way, it's going to be a good time. Let's get into it. Alright, first up on our ghostly checklist, sudden temperature drops. You know what I'm talking about. You're walking through your house minding your own business, maybe humming a little tune, and bam! You hit a patch of air so cold it feels like you've just walked into a meat locker. You check the thermostat, you check the windows, you check to see if you somehow teleported to Antarctica, but everything's normal. So what gives? Well, according to paranormal enthusiasts, this is a classic sign that a spirit is nearby trying to manifest. It's a real energy zapper, apparently. The theory goes that for a spirit to make its presence known, it has to pull energy from its surroundings. And one of the easiest forms of energy to pull is heat. So, as the ghost tries to say boo, or maybe just float around looking menacingly, it sucks all the warmth out of the air, leaving behind a distinct cold spot. It's like a paranormal vampire, but instead of blood, it's feasting on your cozy room temperature. So next time you feel a sudden, inexplicable chill, don't just reach for a sweater. Pause. Consider that you might have just been used as a supernatural battery. Which is rude, frankly. They could at least ask first. Let's talk about noise. Not the normal, everyday house noises, like the refrigerator humming or the floorboards creaking under your own weight. I'm talking about the noises. The ones that happen when you're the only one home and you're sitting perfectly still. The sound of footsteps walking down the hallway upstairs when everyone's out. A faint whisper that seems to come from right behind you, but when you whip your head around, there's nothing but empty space and a profound sense of foolishness. Or maybe you hear a distinct knock on a door inside your house. 3 sharp raps, classic. These disembodied sounds are a staple of ghost stories for a reason. They're incredibly effective at freaking us out. A whisper with no source, a footstep with no foot, a knock with no knuckle. It's all deeply unsettling. Skeptics will say it's just the house settling or the wind or a mouse with surprisingly heavy shoes. And sure, sometimes it is. But when you hear your name called in a familiar voice from an empty room, it's a little harder to blame it on the plumbing. It's the audio equivalent of feeling a tap on your shoulder when you're alone. It's direct, it's personal, and it's a sign that something might be trying very, very hard to get your attention. Okay, so you've got cold spots, you've got weird noises. What's next? How about when your stuff starts moving on its own? This is where things escalate from, that's weird, to, okay, maybe I should call someone. We're talking about objects being moved, or what the paranormal field lovingly calls displaced objects. You leave your keys on the kitchen counter, you're sure of it. You have a distinct memory of putting them there, but now they're on the bookshelf in the living room, or a picture frame that's been on the wall for years suddenly tilts, or worse, flies off the wall and shatters on the floor. This phenomenon, often associated with poltergeists, suggests a spirit with enough energy to physically interact with our world. It's one thing to make the air cold. It's another thing entirely to yeet a book across the room. It can range from subtle things, like a cabinet door being left open when you know you closed it, to the more dramatic movie-style stuff. The ghost isn't just watching anymore, it's participating. It's rearranging your decor. Maybe it just has strong opinions on feng shui. Or maybe it's a bored, spectral teenager just trying to cause a little chaos. Either way, if your possessions start migrating on their own, you've got a pretty solid sign that you're not the only one paying the rent. So, this one is subtle, but honestly, it might be the creepiest of them all. The distinct, unshakable feeling of being watched. There are no sounds, no cold spots, no flying objects. There's just a feeling. You're sitting on your couch reading a book, and suddenly the hairs on the back of your neck stand up. You feel a pressure in the room, a shift in the atmosphere. You feel a pair of eyes on you even though you know, rationally, that you are completely alone. It's a primal instinct, that feeling of being prey, and it's incredibly hard to ignore. You can't see anything, but your gut is screaming at you that someone is there. This sensation is often reported in haunted locations. People will walk into a room and immediately feel like they're being scrutinized, judged by an unseen entity. It's not just a vague sense of unease, it's a focused, directional feeling. You might even feel compelled to look at a specific corner of the room, or a particular empty chair, as if that's where the observer is located. This is the spirit in its most passive form. It's not trying to communicate, it's not trying to move things. It's just watching, observing, monitoring you. And, frankly, I find that way more unsettling than a ghost that just knocks things over. At least that one has a hobby. Let's get technical. Or as technical as you can get when you're talking about ghosts. Sign number 5 is all about electrical disturbances. Spirits, being entities of energy, are said to have a knack for messing with our electronics. It's like they're drawn to the electrical currents. Or maybe they just find it hilarious to interrupt your favorite show at the most critical moment. This can manifest in a bunch of ways. Lights might flicker or turn on and off by themselves, even if you've had the wiring checked by a professional who confirms there's nothing wrong. Your TV might suddenly switch channels or turn onto a static screen in the middle of the night. And it's not just the big stuff. It can be your phone battery draining inexplicably fast in one specific room of the house, or a child's electronic toy suddenly whirring to life in a dark closet, playing its tinny, cheerful music in the dead of night, which is, objectively, the stuff of nightmares. The theory is that spirits can manipulate the flow of electricity to make their presence known. It's their version of sending a text message from the great beyond. So if your gadgets start going haywire for no logical reason, it might not be a faulty connection, it might be a phantom trying to get in touch. Or, just a power surge. But where's the fun in that? Our minds are mysterious places, and they can be even more so when we're asleep or on the verge of it. This brings us to sign number 6, vivid dreams or visions. We're not talking about your standard anxiety dream where you show up to work without pants. We're talking about incredibly vivid, recurring dreams, often featuring a specific person you don't know, or a place you've never been. Sometimes these dreams can feel less like dreams and more like memories or messages. A spirit might be trying to communicate with you through your subconscious, which is thought to be more receptive to paranormal influence. This also extends to waking visions. You know those little flickers you see in the corner of your eye? That fleeting shadow that you glimpse in your peripheral vision, but when you turn to look, it's gone? Most of the time, we dismiss it as our eyes playing tricks on us. But what if it's not? Paranormal investigators believe these shadow people or fleeting apparitions are spirits that don't have enough energy to fully manifest. You're just catching a glimpse of them as they move through your space. It's a brief, startling reminder that the veil between our world and theirs can be incredibly thin, especially when you're tired or not paying full attention. Finally, let's talk about our furry four-legged friends. Sign number 7 is when your pets start acting strangely. Animals, especially cats and dogs, are believed to have senses that are far more acute than our own. They can see and hear things on frequencies that are completely unavailable to us. This is why they are often the first to react to a paranormal presence. Your normally calm and quiet dog might suddenly start barking, growling, or whining at something you can't see. It might stand in the middle of a room, hackles raised, staring intently at an empty corner as if there's an intruder right there. Cats are famous for this too. A cat might suddenly hiss at thin air or refuse to enter a certain room for no apparent reason. You might find your feline friend tracking something invisible across the ceiling with its eyes, following a path that makes no sense to you. Skeptics might say the pet heard a mouse in the wall or saw a bug. And that's possible. But when the behavior is persistent, focused, and directed at a specific spot where there is absolutely nothing, it's hard not to wonder if they're seeing something you can't. They're like little furry ghost detectors, so if Fido or Fluffy starts acting like they're seeing things, maybe they are. So there you have it. 7 of the most commonly reported signs that you might have a spiritual observer. From sudden chills and phantom footsteps to your pets acting like they're watching a ghost documentary, these experiences can be both fascinating and, let's be honest, pretty unnerving. We've walked through the cold spots, listened for the whispers, and kept an eye on our pets. The question is, does any of this sound familiar? Maybe you've experienced one of these signs. Or maybe your house checks off the entire list, in which case, congratulations on your new, invisible roommate. I hope they're tidy. The world of the paranormal is vast and, by its very nature, unproven. These signs aren't definitive proof, but they are part of a rich tapestry of human experience that suggests there's more to reality than what we can see and touch. Whether you're a staunch believer or a hardened skeptic, it's hard to deny the power of these stories. Have you experienced any of these signs? Do you have a personal ghost story that keeps you up at night? We'd love to hear about it. Let us know in the comments below. Your story might just be the one that convinces a skeptic or makes a believer feel a little less alone. Thank you for joining us on this spooky exploration. If you enjoyed diving into the unknown with us, be sure to give this video a thumbs up. It really helps the channel and lets us know you want more content like this. And of course, don't forget to like and subscribe for more mysterious content. Click that notification bell so you won't miss our next journey into the strange and unexplained. Stay curious, stay questioning, and maybe sleep with a nightlight on tonight, just in case.